just a quick run through of what I think as important principles. Very first thing is what you don't need is as important as what you need. This is actually a quote from Romero Bearden. I quite like it. It's very important that you prioritize things which you do not need, the scope out, as much as you do scope in, so in scope items. So that's why I say that the scoping out of things are more important than scoping in. Things which are outside. So set a boundary for what you're going to do work on. So this is a boundary, this is a box, and everything that is outside the scope is actually not important, not relevant, and everything that is inside you just put in. So what we call as a context diagram. So you've got the inputs, the output, the black box processing, and the output. So something like that, if you can draw quickly, whatever you do, that's important. So again, how many things I have no need of, as what Socrates, the greatest philosopher, he says. Not that at that point of time he has all these, but he says these. Definitely, it's one of the things that you need to consider. So many things that we don't need. So just eliminate all of them. Elimination is what we call one of these strategies. And the important thing is first broaden it, then before you narrow it down. So what we call is divergence first. This is a strategy. This is one of the innovation games that we did. So you diverge, you actually kind of come up with, just think very broadly, very openly, come up with all the ideas, all the options, and then you kind of evaluate and assess each of these options, the pros and the cons, the cost and the benefit of each of these options. And then you do the conversion, then you do the filtering out, what is not required, what is not in your purview, what is not relevant. You just take them out and then stick to the main thing. So this is called divergence, shaping, and convergence. Very important. So I would suggest you do. That's a very good principle that you can follow. And then important thing is, again, separate the user's needs from the product's features. We always get muddled up with these two, because all the things that you think as the, that's what the difference between feature and a benefit. What is important is fix the benefit first, focus on the benefit, the value that you're delivering to the users and customers. And then you can see how you're going to do that is through your product feature. For example, a mail is not something as of an email functionality is a feature, but then the important benefit of that is to be able to to get notified of something, to actually get communication. That is the important need there. So for example, all the needs are in the problem domain. We discussed this in the last few sessions. There's a problem space and then there is a solution space, right? The problem space is about the what's, the whys, and perhaps the ways and the whens, whereas the solution space is about the how you can solve that problem, the how. So the needs there is actually in the problem space. So the need for transportation, need for communication, need for information, right? Need for intelligence. This is all need for knowing something, need for belongingness. Abraham Maslow's need hierarchy. He actually talks about the different types of needs, the physiological needs, the food, the shelter, and then the other psychological needs, the ability to belong to something, the social needs of being able to connect with some people who you want to, who are of similar ideas, similar ideology, similar ways of thinking. So that's, belongingness needs and things like that. So in the same way, we should identify what are the needs of users and then separate them from the features and the requirements, which is very important. So for example, I give an example here. This is not something which I have created. This is actually taken from some of the other source from IBM. So please note that. The need could be need to notify the support manager when a support request is initiated. Need to assign the support request. It could be as detailed and as low level as this, some of the things. Need to keep customer informed. It's about information needs, right? And this is about communication need. This is about notification, again, communication needs. So these are all needs. Whereas features could be the product features, how you're addressing those needs through your product could be that the support request will go through a series of stages and assignments, right? So that's the feature description. The system will be workflow oriented. You're having a workflow instead of just one bang, big bang. So there is a set of reviews, approval, set of reviews, approval. So you're implementing that same thing, the communications, the reviews and things like that, the notification through a workflow in your product, with your product. That's how you're delivering that. And similar notification, email capability is again, something that you're addressing that need of the information that they should be informed and notified through an email. So that's the product feature. So you need to separate these two out. So it's a very good way of prioritizing what is the user need and vis-a-vis how you can address that need. Again, that's something which you can do. Again, another important thing that you can do is through the scoping exercise. You just list all your items in terms of the purpose, the goals, the list of stakeholders who are involved, the impact that it could potentially have, the skills that they need to have, whether it is a one-time activity, ongoing, what are the kind of risks associated, all of these. And then you assign that to, you identify all of that, whether it's in scope or out of scope, and then you describe that here. So there's another exercise that we can do to prioritize what we have or what we can do within the product or the career options of the life, whatever we do, the life specific